Okay, hi, good morning, everyone. Hi, I'm Selena Lim, and the Head of Corporate Development and Marketing for Acclivis. And thank you for joining us today for the webinar Meeting Digital Infrastructure Needs in Southeast Asia's New Economy, jointly brought to you by BDx and Acclivis. Now, over the next 40 minutes or so, our speakers will briefly introduce both companies' offerings, share our partnership model, as well as a case study on how we're playing a vital role for companies seeking digital transformation and rapid expansion in Southeast Asia. Now, without further ado, let's go straight into the presentations. It is my pleasure to introduce our two speakers today. And first up is actually Bill Gao, EVP and CEO for BDx in Greater China. Bill, please.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this session. Later on, I will introduce about BDx and also our joint efforts with our partner to provide service for our customers.
Yep, and our next speaker is actually, Benjamin Lau, Head of Sales and Business Development for Acclivis. Benjamin, would you like to say hi to the audience?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. My name is Benjamin, and later on, I'll be sharing with you on Acclivis's product offerings and what the company is about. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Ben. Okay, so without further ado, I'll first like to invite Bill to kick off this webinar and presentation. Bill, can I just pass on the mic to you?
Thank you, Selena. First, thank you again for everyone joining this session. It's my honor today to spend 50 minutes to introduce about BDx and also our offering, as well as our joint campaign with our partner Acclivis to support our customer business growth in the region. BDx, Big Data Exchange, is a data service provider in Asia that we have data centers in Hong Kong, mainland China, and Singapore. Basically, that BDx is a new company established in 2019, but actually we are pretty much quite well established and mature because all of the data center assets already before actually managed by AGC, Telstra, now actually today, June 15th is our official launching day for our first newly developed data center in Nanjing launch. And also, if you look at a management team, basically that the executives come from AGC, from Telstra, and also from other big companies, before operating data centers, own the data center related business. For myself, actually, that I work for BT China as general manager starting from 2005, and also joined Telstra as a general manager for Telstra China starting from 2008. Before joining BDx, actually, for example, like BDx Xinwan data center was originally operated by Telstra, and also I visit Xinwan, our Singapore data center, for more than 15 times, many times. So we are pretty much quite established, and also our products and offering to our customers all have is well testing, and also that we have good SLA to support our customers. So just now, and also that for our services in general, that we have not only that the co-location connectivity, and also that we fully understand our customer demand. It's not a single service; it's kind of a package. So we also offer security services, and also that other services that for those customers when they develop their business in China, in Hong Kong, in Singapore, and also in the whole Asia, that we will provide one-stop shop services for our customers, because we fully understand that the co-location service is just a very important part of our customers' data networks, and also that what our customer need is a kind of like a package. Also, that's one of the biggest advantage for BDx is that we are carrier neutral, and also that we create a secure hybrid ecosystem, including that our own self-developed SDN, BDx Armor, and also BDx single pane offerings. Perhaps later I will discuss, will introduce more. But this carrier neutral is also one of the biggest features for BDx in all of our locations, especially in China. When we develop a carrier neutral data center, we have all kinds of challenges. However, like today when we launch our NKG1, the new data center, we have already got the 5 basic telecom service providers in China, all of their fiber and bandwidth already in our data center, including China Telecom, China Unicom, China Mobile, CITIC Telecom, and also cable and broadcasting networks. So also that we also give a customer kind of a flexibility based on our fully automated platform. Later, I will introduce about our BDx single pay and 360 view that support our customer to give them better customer experience, and also, of course, that's much better efficiency when they manage their networks and also that's their data. So at this page, you will see that this is a general introduction about our data centers in Hong Kong, in Singapore, in Nanjing, and in Guangzhou. So for Nanjing, just now I introduced that this our NKG1, in fact, that official launch today. And also that the NKG2, now we are targeting to complete its construction by Q4 2022. That's the 4,000 racks. We will support bigger scale of our customer demand in Nanjing, and also, of course, that's East China. So for Hong Kong, in fact, that we just launched a promotion that we will sell more capacity in Hong Kong, and plus that our cross-border solutions, so that our customer can get better package, including that colocation and also cross-border solutions from mainland China to Hong Kong, and of course that's from other part of the world. Sing1, just I introduced that before. Actually, it was Telstra's data center. It has 1,500 racks, and now it's actually it's well managed by this high occupancy rate and supporting many global MNCs in this data center. So if look at our target customer segments in China, so basically that we are target most of our existing customers and also our target customers. They are high-end enterprise customers looking for domestic data center resources for business extension, and also of course that's global MNCs looking for China domestic data center resources for local digitalization service, and of course that's Chinese companies when they are looking for global expansion, especially that usually that Chinese companies when they expand outside of China, the first stop usually Hong Kong, the second stop is Singapore for Southeast Asia. So our coverage can well support them. And if you look at our for those the enterprise customers looking for the data centers in China, so the basic that the most of them are OTTs, financial service institutions, healthcare institutions, and of course that new media companies. And for the MNCs look for domestic data center, usually that's of course that from industry perspective, they come from that financial, manufacturing, healthcare, media, chemical, and also the pharmacy business. And usually that they have their regional headquarters in Hong Kong or in Singapore, but they have very extensive operations in China. For example, like their factories, their research lab, and of course that's the retail for the retail shops in China. And if you look at the Chinese enterprise looking for overseas data center resources for their global business expansion, also come from OTT, finance, manufacturing, healthcare, media. But especially for the Chinese OTTs, we have already witnessed that for the past 2 years, there's huge investment from that BAT and ByteDance and a few other very big Chinese OTTs. They try to invest and also explore the market in Southeast Asia. So now they are using our service to support their Southeast Asia operations. We expect that in the next 12 to 24 months, there will be more. There will be more demand, and of course, there will be more high-end demand. For example, that for their video services and for their gaming services. So every year we have a kind of like customer research. We send that questionnaire to our customers, both existing customers and also those potential customers. So we collect their information, for the future demand and also their trends, and also what's their pains, and also what we can help them. So if you look at at this moment, that's from the OTT, from finance, from government customers, and of course that traditional manufacturers, in terms of the co-location, in terms of the data center services, from price, from network location, security, deployment, capacity, and the power supply per rack, the density perspective, what their views. And of course, that we will welcome your inputs. Hopefully that we can, improve our, because all of this data will help us to build our data center in the future. For example, like NKD2, now we are in the design and optimization stage. We will get those inputs and to support our data center to, in order to get a better customer experience for our potential customers. Okay, when we talk about BDx, how can we position ourselves? So basically we focus on supporting our customers' business growth in Asia. So if you look at our existing assets and also our new data centers in the region, Hong Kong, Guangzhou, Nanjing, Singapore, Jakarta, Mumbai, and also there will be Taipei and a few others. So for just now we mentioned that for Chinese customers, so we call it China out customers. We also support their expansion along that one belt and one road, especially in Southeast Asia. You will see that they usually to choose Singapore as their hub site for their Southeast Asia operation. So we introduce more our position. Just now I mentioned that our data center is carrier neutral data center. So in China, it's not easy that they're basically that in China in the past 2 years there are many new data centers launched, and there will be new data centers launched in the next 2 years. However, that for carrier neutral data centers is a very big advantage, and also that can provide much flexible services for our customers. So just now I mentioned that, for example, our new data center launched today, NKD1 in Nanjing. We have 5 basic telecom service providers, fiber and bandwidth ready for our customers. Besides, we also are ready for the BDP bandwidth. We have a few cloud service providers. There will be a kind of like a multi-cloud platform access in our NKD1. And also that we have the well-designed cross-border solutions for our customers. Of course, for this particular one that we need to partnering with 3 Cs, CTCU and CM. We have already got the agreement with with our partners so that we can provide us very established solutions for cross-border. And also, of course, that for our cloud service providers, so we can also that get our, because just now I mentioned that we have 5 basic telecom service providers. Their resources, their fiber already been ready in our data center. Plus, we also have a few other ISPs on tier 2 carriers. And also that we leverage their resources to provide the abundant IPv4 IP addresses for our potential customers, which is very important for our cloud service providers customers. So basically, that this one is kind of like a summary of the some advantages for our customers if you choose our data center. Because carrier neutral, that our customer can have full freedom that to choose the one of the carriers bandwidth, and of course that's easy to access to the cloud platform by their choice. So this is a very important feature. We spent very long time that to negotiate with all our partners and also get it done. And it will be a very standard offering that for all of our data centers, especially in China. Oh, sorry. So first of all, that if you look at this page, the picture is our NKG1, our first data center in Nanjing, officially launched today. And also, of course, that's just beside this, the grassland. There will be NKG2, our second phase 2. That will be 4,000 racks, new data center. So if we introduce our offerings, we can see that we will support our world-class data center infrastructure. Will support our customer. That's easier to transform, and also that increase our customers' scalability and our, for example, just now introduced about that, the carrier neutral cross-border solutions, and also the, later perhaps I will also introduce that our SDN offerings and also our super low latency offerings to our high-end customers, including the financial institutions. And also that the gaming and video service providers, and of course that we target that to reduce operating expenses for our customers. It's very, very important because BDx we have very experienced pre-sales solutions team. So every time that talk with our customers, our solution team will help our customer to transform their business demand to IT demand. So that means not simply kind of like 2 racks or 3 racks and a 10 gig bandwidth. It's kind of a package. How to well utilize our data center, the colocation, and also that our full solutions that for the SDN, for the BGP bandwidth, cross-border solutions, the super low latency solutions, put them together as a package so that give a much better customer experience. And of course that's our targets, and they higher to provide higher resilience and resiliency, and also higher redundancy for our customers, and better SLAs. And the last point is also very important. All of our data centers are kind of like we have a very flexible design, and also that it's a modularized. For example, like our newly launched NKG1, we have 4 modules. Each module have 248 racks, and of course that's each rack. The capacity can, according to our customers' demand, from 2 kW perhaps to 6.5 kW, even to 14 kW if our customer need. We have some modification can still accommodate our customer demand, because we we have already seen more and more customer demand that for high density racks, and it will be a quite standard for more than 4 kilowatts as a standard offering to our customers. Perhaps I will speed up. I think that's give more time that for the Q&A. So if you look at our offering just now, we mentioned that it's not only the colocation, it's a kind of integrated managed services. So our service management, including service op, service design, service transformation, and transition, and also that actually is pretty much that for those kind of 24/7 management and auto ticketing and the audio logs for the compliance requirements. So our understanding is like this: for the past 2 years, the pandemic really that's gave a big challenge for all the business, but particularly for data center business. The good thing is that our customers have much bigger demand, for the bandwidth, for the colocation to support their e-commerce, on that the online education, on the gaming services. That's they need more demand from us. Secondly, it's also that this kind of pandemic, the restrictions on the travel, the restriction on the working in the office also gave a very big challenge for all of the data center service provider, and also of course that is kind of a mirror to see that whose service is more customer focused. For example, that during the peak of the pandemic in April last year, when our Chinese customers need service, in Singapore, we're offering that remote hand, smart hand. Actually, that they don't need to send staff to Singapore; they just courier their equipment to Singapore. We can offering everything that's to do. Actually, today is also very necessary. For example, like today in Guangzhou, it's locked down again, right? So that's our Guangzhou data center can also give the similar support. This is only for the customer, service delivery and the service assurance side. Here, if you look at the integrated managed service, it will be easier for our customers to monitor their networks and the data center services. And actually, this is also introduced about our global service ops center. We call it the GSOC. In each data center, of course, that we have NOC, but also that we have centralized platform that support all of the data centers and is fully automated. Actually, in long term, that they will take a more important role. That they will get more active, alarming, and also that's more active that the services to interactive services with our customers. And of course, that's our security compliance framework, and we just passed the ISO 27001, of course, that, and also we also have for each data centers we have different standards, either that's uptime tier 3, or in China we have CQC A class, and of course as there are some others. Basically that's this is a international, it's a world-class international standard service. So our customers in each data center will receive the standard service. They will feel that it's really one networks to support their business. So just now I mentioned that 360 view. This is our self-developed, newly launched, service. This is mainly that to support our customers. We will send a very detailed introduction about this platform. We believe that this one will just provide all of our customers a single interface for managing their colocation cloud environments. So that means even their networks, actually that is collocated in different data centers and also in different cloud environments. But actually that's based on this 360 view, that they will easily to access to all of those data and also manage those data, just like a kind of interface like a Windows, just in front of you. It's much easier that to manage. this is the features of 360. I think that our colleagues will send more information if you need. So basically, this is a introduction about our company and also that's our offering to our customers. I'll pass this to Benjamin and look forward to discussing in Q&A session. Hi, Benjamin.
Okay, good morning and welcome everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank all the attendees for coming to this webinar. And of course, I would like to thank BDx and the team as well for our continued successful collaboration these few years, right? So I see some familiar names on the attendees list as well. Thank you very much for joining, right? For those that don't know too much about Acclivis, let me just go through this, my slides and I can give you an introduction of what we do, our product offerings, our value add, and what we do in Southeast Asia, as well as our collaboration with BDx, all right? For the interest of time, let me start this off without any further ado. All right, okay. Acclivis was founded in 2009 by a group of IBMers, all right? And of course, successfully with the triage of IBM, Acclivis, as well as their existing customer base, they rolled out a lot of very successful infrastructure solutions, and that's how we started off. So with acquisitions of connection managed services, establishing our Indonesian office as our first rollout into Southeast Asia, we then continued putting new offerings like BCRS, business continuity and recovery services out into our offerings out to the market. Okay, that of course was aggressively started. We aggressively started cloud services as well, predominantly in the private cloud space as well as hybrid cloud for our customers. As you know, 7-8 years ago, there was a demand that from customers in the marketplace that was looking for this. So we launched that, and then it was successful. We were generating a lot of new opportunities, and that's how we started additional portfolio of businesses. And of course, after that, with that, we successfully acquired OCNet as well as Pacific Internet, which you guys some folks were probably familiar with in terms of the ISP play, right? Of course, the exciting news with that was, of course, the acquisition by Citic Telecom back in 2016, all right? So they see us as a perfect fit into their organization, has a default SI arm for us to go out into the Southeast Asia market, right? So, of course, naturally after that, we expanded into Hong Kong, and from then on, we have been having growth acceleration in terms of our businesses in Southeast Asia, all right? Okay, this is a snapshot of our Southeast Asia presence. So we are located, of course, the HQ is in Singapore. We have offices in Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, as well as Philippines, which was established last year, right? We also have an office in Hong Kong that's beyond Southeast Asia, as well as a representation in China, in Chengdu. So across Southeast Asia, we have 100 over staff, right? Comprising of sales and delivery as well, right? From an award perspective, okay, we are of course an award-winning ICT provider. Some of the newer awards that we can showcase is basically we are a 2020 IBM Innovation Award winner. And of course, from 2019, we were also Raritan's best performing partner in Southeast Asia. Okay, we are also recognized, okay, by 451 Research as a key cloud and managed services provider in Southeast Asia. Later on, I'll touch a bit more about what we do in terms of that, right? Then from Pacific Internet perspective, okay, of course, we've been operating in Thailand since 2000, the year 2000, right? This is a snapshot of what we do in Acclivis in terms of our key products and services. It's basically broken down into 3 main pillars, okay? They are cloud, connectivity, and workplace, basically for future workplace in that sense. From a cloud perspective, of course, our main bread and butter is we do private cloud businesses, right? So in terms of putting this together, of customizing for our customers. All right, this is what we do for the longest time, right? And of course, we do GPU cloud. So in terms of NVIDIA, okay, we are the largest, okay, provider of the GPU cloud. We have implemented this successfully, okay, in Thailand and Singapore, and this is the largest in Southeast Asia, right? Okay, and of course, from a disaster recovery cloud perspective, we have a lot of successful use cases that we have been doing all these years with our customers, right? So from a connectivity perspective, of course, the Pacific Internet play comes into the picture. So we have connectivity across most of the countries in Southeast Asia, okay, and we provide these services out to our customers as well. So when it comes to workplace pillar, right, we have some of these AI visitor management system, right, that we provide to our customers as well, that is in tune, in line with not your typical visitor management systems that everyone's used to. This is in line with perhaps things like in our COVID pandemic, right, where we are trying to control access controls. We're trying to control in and out access controls of people within an organization, within a selected area. We can customize these for our customers. So in terms of doing safe entries and so forth, in terms of even to the point of even detecting too much footfalls within a selected areas that has to be controlled within an organization. So a lot of these customizations we have done for our customers, and we also have use cases for that. Okay. So another future workplace initiatives that we do is, of course, end user management. So we put technology and resources together, right, such that we can help manage endpoint and end user requirements customized to their customers' needs, right? So further details we can discuss on the site if there's a need. Okay. This is just a snapshot of some of our customers, okay, that we have in Singapore, just to give you a snapshot. Okay. I'm not going to spend too much here. A little bit about CITIC. So CITIC Telecom is part of the largest conglomerate in China, right? For those who are not familiar, okay, they are employee size of 304,000, right? They do revenues of $75.1 billion a year, okay, and total assets of more than $1 trillion, okay. Last year's ranking on the Fortune 500, they were ranked 126. Okay, so this is also another snapshot, okay, whereby how we sit within the organization of the CITIC Telecom in Southeast Asia. Okay, so it's a busy slide, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, right? So if you see from the organization, right, they view us as a default SI arm, okay, to assist in perhaps, right, collaborating with Chinese enterprises, perhaps going to Southeast Asia, providing support to companies in Singapore that wants to roll out into various aspects of the region, whether be it just setting up a colo or starting up a new team in Philippines or in Malaysia, or new projects that might come into hand if they already have ready offices there, right? So ultimately, from CITIC's perspective, okay, so under the CITIC Telecom International, we have Acclivis and Pacific Internet that I'll zoom into, right? So we provide the largest independent service providers in Asia Pacific. So they are CITIC Telecom connects over 600 carriers globally, right? So from Acclivis perspective, we are ultimately providing a one-stop enterprise shop in Singapore and as well as Southeast Asia, right? Pacific Internet basically provides enterprise ISP services in Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand, right? So from CITIC Telecom, CPC, they provide ICT services for MNCs, right? With their 140 plus POPs and 15 cloud data centers, right? CEC processes several national value-added telecom business licenses, right? So this provides pretty much a unique edge in the Belt and Road initiatives, right? In those locations that it covers. Okay, this is another snapshot of our market leading positions and achievements. So, right, So I'm just going to just show this to you. And then because of the interest of time, I'm going to just scan through this because I still have some more slides, right? Okay, this is a snapshot of our enterprise clients, okay, from our operator base, MVNO, enterprise, OTT device manufacturing, and consumer, right? All right, so from a global coverage perspective, this forms the backbone of what from CITIC is our One Belt, One Road initiatives, right? The 600 plus global carriers connected, okay, 140 plus global POPs, okay. We have 18 cloud computing platforms, 21 branch organizations worldwide, okay. A combined 3,000 plus multinational clients, okay, 40,000 plus local enterprise clients, okay, and out of this, we have 200 plus Fortune 500 clients. So this is a worldwide picture from a CITIC global headquarters perspective, original coverage, newly added coverage, right, as well as the CPC, CEC POPs that you can see within this legend. Right, so back to what we do, right? So what we have is the full ICT capabilities to help our customers deliver, install IT infrastructure and cloud services in Southeast Asia and globally, right? Our growth engines centered, right, around the needs of the government, enterprise and industry, even down to small and mid-sized businesses, right? So it is our solutions are basically cloud, okay? You name it, your infrastructure as a service, software as a service, product as a service, right? We do our typical system network integration as well, okay? Managed services, which is key to our forte, right? Whereby we have technology and maintenance support as well as workplace support for our customers, okay? So, and more importantly, when we do private cloud businesses, cybersecurity is also a very key function. So we have large skill sets of back-end and front-end folks, okay, they can deliver and put together, even down to consultancy for security solutions, as well as the SOC, right? Of course, we have BC, business continuity and disaster recovery, right? And of course, we have middleware applications and a suite of solution partners that support us. Of course, ultimately with this, we have our enterprise connectivity, right, of POPs and mega POPs and local connectivity that puts all this, linking them all up together, right? So with that, from small to larger complex projects, we have done smart city, smart industry solutions to various customers in our portfolio as well. Okay, so some of our key differentiators. Okay, so collaboration with BDx has always been very key. So, but as well, we have data centers presence in Southeast Asia. Okay, they're either owned or they're leased. Okay, coupled with global connectivity, right? And of course, with our managed services that complements the whole package. Okay, so this is a snapshot of our data centers coverage. Okay, so the ones in darker blue are the ones that are owned. And of course, the lighter blue ones are the ones that are leased. Okay, so for this slide, basically, we're showing you the Southeast Asia connectivity, where we also have global WAN and POP coverage around the world globally. Okay, so a lot of this is centered down to the local connectivity, global connectivity as well that we have that is available to the market, right? And this forms the backbone to the power cloud that we also put out to market. Okay, so this is a snapshot of the Pacific Internet local connectivity in each countries, right? So I'm going to scan real quick just to let you guys see this. All right, so this is also a snapshot of our available managed services that Acclivis provides. So it's centered around, of course, our resources, which is our people, okay, the technology that we put in place, okay, to support our customers better, and the technology platform, all right, that centers and encapsulate everything, right? So of course, so this is a quick snapshot, right? So it's the typical managed services provider kind of portfolio services that we've been doing successfully for our customers. Okay, quick snapshot of our professional qualifications. A good MSP is always backed up with the fact that you should have qualified subject matter experts. So our customers come back to us most of the time because of the fact that we have good local representation with the right expertise, right? So the comfort level is there. So this is just a snapshot, all right? Okay, I'm just going to do a quick client case study, okay? All right. So basically, when we talk about a smart nation initiative, I want to bring your attention to the fact that what we've done for Land Transport Authority in Singapore. Okay, so when LTA embarked on Simply Go, which is a nationwide smart payment project, okay, how Singapore citizens can pay for public transport, okay, they came up with this thing called the account-based ticketing. Okay, it's simply an integrated system, okay, that helps with multiple fare payment modes for trains as well as buses. So instead of using the typical prepaid cash card, right, it's gone into a contactless debit and credit card system, or even digital wallets for all buses and MRT, right? So ultimately, this is the first in Singapore, not just to trial, but this has gone into production, right? So this has been ongoing for 3 years already, right? And basically the subscription rate is about 800,000+ at this point of time. And we are also the second country in the world after London to have an account-based ticketing system. So what the scope of work was basically to design, install, and commission the back office system for this contract, right? So the complexity of it was linking up the different various banks, okay, that consumers will be banking with, who are customers with the community's profile and journey data, because LTA could actually track and see how and to improve our traveling patterns, right? So of course, coupled with train operators data as well as bus operators data, our back office system, all this was centered in the private cloud that we have delivered and done for LTA, right? Of course, the back-end cybersecurity portion of this was supported by our local 24/7 NOC and SOC, right? So this is a snapshot of what we've put together. Of course, we can really review as much as we can, but it's centered around the technologies of IoT, okay, AI servers, analytics, and business intelligence using various software as well, right? And of course, the different vendor security as well as our backend security. So from Acclivis perspective, okay, we built the private cloud, okay, on a highly resilient architecture such that the service stays up and running 24/7. Okay, we manage the infrastructure as well, okay, with our SOC and our NOC, right? So this pretty much comes back to my end of my presentation. So Selena?
Thank you, Ben. Yep, thank you,
Yeah.
Ben. Yeah. Okay, guys. We're ready to actually start the Q&A, and we already have quite a number of questions that have already been submitted. So, the first question actually is, in China there are only 3 telcos, and almost all DC co-lo vendors have connectivity with these 3 players. So, when we're talking about carrier-neutral providers in China, what are we actually referring to? So, I'm going to direct this question to both Bill and Benjamin. So, Ben, do you want to kick off first on this question, where we talk about connectivity in China with the 3 telco players?
Okay, so basically for carrier neutral, right? Our suite of data centers ultimately are suitable for connecting to, we're agnostic in that sense because we're suitable for connecting to any ISP or telcos in this region, right? So as you know, sometimes many of our customers actually have dual circuits, right? From different connectivity providers that's coming into the data centers. So Acclivis, we provide premium and unfiltered connectivity into China. So this will allow basically out of China users to access China's servers without any latency or filtering issues, right? So this is the same for most China users that's accessing our China user servers as well.
Bill, would you like to add on for BDx?
Yes, sure. Actually, that's for carrier neutral. Just now the question is right that the basic infrastructure actually owned by 3Cs. However, they are competing with each other, which is understandable. So in most of the data centers in China, of course that for data center service provider, always that welcome all 3Cs that to get the fiber and the bandwidth access to the data center, so can provide to their customers, the multiple choices for the bandwidth. However, in most of the cases, there's a kind of like a preferable status for one of the 3Cs. So it's very typical, like, for example, like China Telecom in southern China, in the 21 provinces, it is an incumbent. So, and also, of course, that in southern China, that the China Telecom's bandwidth is supposed has the best quality. So usually that if there's an agreement signed, that there's a kind of some clauses say that China Telecom will get a preferable status in northern China in the 10 provinces. Similar thing that China Unicom is the incumbent, so they also have some try to have some preferable status. But basically, that if you look at Nanjing, which we just launched our data center, in fact, that the real carrier neutral data center, less than three players in this market. Others, all of them, that partnering with one of the 3Cs, and of course that can well support the customers if the customer needs that particular partner's bandwidth. However, for others, perhaps when they access, there's some challenges, and from the pricing perspective, perhaps it's more expensive. But I basically that this is our understanding is carrier neutral. So basically that not only 3Cs, but also there are two other in China for data center. There are two basic telecom service providers, CITIC Telecom, and also cable and broadcasting networks. They all have the fiber in our data center, as well as that we are open for all of the ISPs. They can provide a bandwidth for our customers.
All right, thank you, Bill. Okay, well, let's move on to the next question. What percentage of the energy that you consume is actually sourced from renewable energy plants? I think this question will be most, best dealt with by BDx. Bill, do you want to add to that?
Yes, sure. Actually, that our shareholder Squared Capital, they have huge investment both in the traditional energy and also renewable energy. In fact, that in traditional energy, their investments more than 5,000 megawatts, and also for the renewable energy, more than 4,000 megawatts. So we have a very good basis that to provide more renewables energy for our customers. And also we have a very clear view that, clear demand trend from our customers. They are more and more care about that renewable energy. And when they select the supplier, this is one of the more and more important factors when they make decision. So quite soon you will see that our offering in the market, there will be more and more renewable portion that's in our offering to our customers.
All right, thanks a lot, Bill. Okay, next up, we have another question, and I think this goes actually to both Acclivis and BDx, but I think I'll pose this question to Ben actually. What are actually the joint strengths that BDx and Acclivis are trying to showcase on this webinar? Ben, do you want just to briefly summarize this?
Sure. Okay. That's a very good question. So specifically for the Greater China and ASEAN market, now both BDx and Acclivis have data center and ICT capabilities in both these regions, right? So with this great amount of resources to offer, right, specifically to customers, who are operating in both Greater China and ASEAN markets. We have this expertise, okay, to design, build, and operate your private and hybrid cloud, right, in these regions, ultimately to suit your the customers' growing requirements. So the customization is very key. So and with those successful use cases that we have done with BDx, we have demonstrated that. So that's basically the joint strength.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Okay, we have another two more questions actually. So for our friends at BDx, this question is, we just wanted to know if there are further expansion plans in Asia Pacific and where are the markets that BDx is actually focusing on in the near future?
Yes, sure. We do have quite a big plan to expand in Asia. Just now in my presentation, we introduced a few new locations, definitely that in general that we will go with our customers, their demands. We see very clearly that our customers have a huge investment and has the demand in Indonesia, in India, and perhaps also in some other Southeast Asians. So we are first of all that we have already that invest in some size, and same time that we also negotiating with the customers that to accommodate their new plan that to expand their business. So question, I think that in the next few months that we will have new announcement that for the new locations for our data center in Asia.
Okay, that's great. And then, of course, we have another question that's, from one of our webinar participants was saying that if they want to secure co-location racks in both China and Singapore, can we supply? I think the answer is obviously yes, So we'll definitely be in touch with you. It's great that there's really interest, coming from you guys. We have to supply a quotation. There is another question from a participant that asked us, are all our DCs already on an SDN platform? Bill and Ben, any thoughts?
First of all, the SDN is our new offering. We have already developed the platform, and also that in some of our data center already is a standard offering. But same time that because we have a new data centers just launched, and also that we will soon that announce that in Asia globally that we provided the SDN services for all of our customers.
Okay, that's great. Okay, the next question actually goes to Acclivis. It says there are now more and more users moving to public cloud. So how relevant are your ICT and data center offerings today? Ben, could you shed light on this?
Okay, so regard to this, ultimately, of course, the relevancy of these data center offerings, this is a lot of public cloud design is intended for the general SME market. So a lot of businesses and operations cannot fully run on a public cloud for a number of reasons. It could be application operations compatibility, local data residency for perhaps local compliances, including risk of business loss, right? For instance, due to how the public cloud is regulated, especially. So this is obviously seen in the case of, let's say, for instance, social network app Parler, for instance, among many others, right? So therefore, a lot of companies are instead going for private clouds or hybrid cloud for that matter, for many reasons. So when you're going for your own private cloud, it actually ensures connectivity quality and accessibility for your users. Not to mention there's an amount of control from a cybersecurity standpoint, right? A lot of customization can be done for our customers, right? So it's like owning your own car as compared to using a car sharing app to lease a car for a short duration ride in that sense, right?
Okay, great. Thanks, Ben. One more question. I'm conscious that time is running out. Okay, so for projects that span multiple countries in Southeast Asia, would that mean that BDx is able to provide a master contract for such customers that need co-location for multiple countries?
Yes, first of all, that we definitely we are doing this. Actually, our legal, commercial, and also sales are working together. Try to get a unified master service agreement to support customers in different locations. Of course, that's at the same time that there are some challenges from the legal and regulatory perspective. For example, different license issues, and also that for the just now I mentioned, for example, like cross-border cross-border solutions. We also need to partnering with one of the 3Cs. Of course, now it's established, but same time that this needs to be a separate one. But let me address this very clearly that there will be one single master service service agreement to support our customer demand across Asia, and basically that this is our target. We just want to give more flexible, not only from contract perspective and also from service perspective. For example, that in future we will quite soon launch some promotion that if the customer they have a co-location in our China data centers, they will get they could get virtual servers on free rack in Hong Kong, Singapore, vice versa. So basically that this is also the same thing that from offering perspective to support one single MSA to cover all of the service for our customer.
Okay, thanks, Bill. Okay, last question, because I'm conscious that we're approaching lunchtime already. If there are any further questions, please, feel free to put them to the chat box. We can consolidate and get back to you individually as well. So the last question is, what are the various power supply options your data centers offer? I think this goes to both Bill and Ben. So Ben, do you want to take this first?
Well, basically, I think BDx can and us we can basically offer up to 7 kilowatts per rack, but of course we can supply up to 14 kilowatts as well, right? So I think that's pretty much consistent with what Bill has. Maybe Bill can like to add on as well.
Yes, sure. Actually, that's just now I introduced our data center all modularized. So basically that our current offerings from 2 kilowatts, starting from 2 kilowatts to 6.5 kilowatts. I mean, of course, that different data center have different standard, but the new data center like in Nanjing, that 2 to 6.5 our standard, but also that we can support much higher density, and we definitely see that the much higher density demand from our customers. For example, that our one of our key customers, they have already told us that from this year that their standard minimum is 4 kilowatts and above. So yeah, I think that in the future that we look forward working together with our partner Acclivis data to support of course that it's a customer demand focused give flexibility to our customers, but same time from the infrastructure and technology perspective we can support much higher density.
Okay. I think one last question before we wrap up. This goes to BDx, and it is: what is the scale of site you are planning to build in India, and by when will it be ready?
Oh, sorry, Selena. I did not hear very clearly. Can you repeat?
I think it's the scale. What's the scale of the site that you're planning to build in India? So, are you planning to build any data centers in India, and if so, when will they be ready?
Yes, we do. We do have because our customer have demand in India, and there's no doubt that India will be more and more important IT hub site for the customer demand. Yes, we in fact that we are negotiating and we'll get more detailed information we can share quite soon. That if a particular audience wants to receive that updates, our marketing team will be very happy to share with all of our the status and our plan in India. That's a very important part of our business in the next 3 to 4 years.
Okay, thank you, Bill, very much. And thanks, Ben, also for answering all your Q&As. And thank you to all attendees for actually joining us for this webinar this morning. We've now come to the end of it, the whole session. As I mentioned earlier, if you did not catch the opening, we have made actually a live recording of this webinar, and we'll be very happy to sort of supply you with that. And you can always revisit the content at your convenience. And once again, thank you very much for joining us. If you need more information on BDx and Acclivis, please visit our website. It's bdxworld.com and acclivis.com. And if there are any inquiries you'd like to send it, please send it to inquiry@acclivis.com and inquiry@bdxworld.com. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, and we look forward to hosting you for the next session. Thank you all.